All right. So I hate that, but we're going to go ahead and get started. I meant to look a lot cuter. Sarah, you look beautiful. I just did not get a chance to shower after my workout here. But I want to introduce you guys to Sarah, who I met in Florida is it this year? Is it 2021?
Yeah, January.
Yeah. Okay. My gosh, that feels like a really long time ago and not like just January. But anyways, I met her in January and I was just impressed, and I knew her like kind of. We hadn't really talked, and we didn't get like a lot of time at conference because it was just crazy chaotic. But she's one of the sweetest people I've ever met, and I'm so excited for you guys to be able to hear from her and hear her tips. So I'm just gonna let her share her story, share how she found it works and everything like that, and then we'll go from there.
All right, guys, I am super excited that Brooke even asked me to be on here. I'm so thrilled about that. But I am Sara Chapman. I am from a very small town in West Virginia. I started this business a year ago, May 22nd, and me and my team are shooting for Diamond this month. So that's super exciting and very life-changing for not just me, but many of us on my team. So I'm super excited about that. But I joined this business whenever COVID had hit and hours had gotten cut back, and hours for my husband were very short and pay was low. I actually got extended off for 3 weeks with no pay during COVID. So it was very hard times, needless to say, especially having 2 toddlers. At that time, they were both still in diapers and we were needing milk, just all the regular things, all the necessities that you needed. And we were not able to make my husband's paycheck stretch. And you may think 3 weeks without pay is just no big deal, but it's a huge deal when we were already living paycheck to paycheck, guys. So I was just scrolling on Facebook one day and I seen this girl, actually Regina Potosnik. You guys have probably seen her in the chat somewhere, but one of my friends had actually posted for her. And of course it was a distributor host a post, and she said something short and sweet along the lines of, make your own hours, bring an income all from your phone. And I said, I've got to get that. Like, I've got to join. So I was one of the few and far between that joined right away. I was super excited to just get started on this opportunity. I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but I sure to goodness was on fire. I had always wanted to use the products, but of course, financially, we just couldn't afford it. That's not something we had to have. So it just was not in our budget. So I joined, started using the products, got some amazing results, got a few people started. I promoted to Ruby shortly after that. I was super excited, and I just couldn't believe that we were able to bring in just some extra money from my phone. And then I think it was like a month after that, I had started back to work, and things just took off even better for me, just being able to spread the word and seeing people post or others seeing me post. So it went really well. But yeah, I'm just excited to be here, and I'm excited to hear from everyone. I'd like for everyone to just drop in the chat if you are shooting for a certain promotion this month and just where you're from, so we can just see where everybody's from and where we're at.
I love that, but you forgot to mention that you just hit Emerald recently and got a bonus. So insert IDF here, but I'm just saying.
I went Emerald in March, and of course was fully eligible for a $5,000 bonus, guys. Huge. That kind of money to us, when we think of $5,000, we think of, I was able to pay off 2 credit cards, and not only that, we've just been able to do a lot more things as far as not having to set a budget at Walmart whenever we go. And I am right now, Diamond means so much to me only because that kind of income can actually bring me home to my kids. And that's something I'm shooting for this month, only because my kids will be starting school next year. So I've always been wanted to be home with them, not missed out on anything. So that's something that is so huge to us. And that's why I'm shooting for Diamond very, very soon, guys. So yes, anyone can do this. I still have a full-time job. I was actually homeschooling my 14-year-old brother at the time of going Emerald. So life was crazy and busy at many times, but I just know if you're willing and wanting a change, you're going to do whatever it takes, I guess you.
I love it. I love it. And I'm glad that you mentioned the full-time job too. And I know you have some of your team on here, so I'll go ahead and share a little bit of my story. So I've actually been in for 3 years. It was 3 years in March, actually. And I wasn't someone who joined right away because Morgan had reached out to me actually about the products. I don't remember if I had voted on a poll or if she just messaged me. But she sent the products that she had, and I was like, "Ooh, that hair one! Like, give me some of that." And then I got to the price and was like, I can't afford that. And so I was like, nope, like I'm good. And then she offered me the opportunity. And I was like, no, like I'm not going to be one of those girls. I'm not doing that. That's not like what I want. That's not what I want to be. And so she like let me go, did her follow-ups, whatever. And I still just was like, no, like I'm good. Thank you for offering, never ghosted her because I don't do that. That's fine if you did that, but I just don't. I can't not respond to a message unless it's just like a rude thing. But anyways, so watched her actually for a whole entire year. And then finally, like basically something had gone wrong in our marriage every single month that we had been married our first year. So whether it was plumbing, we had sewer issues, we had heater and AC breakdown, we had both of our cars break down. Like it was just financially the worst possible year of our marriage. Like our marriage itself was great, but the financial part was so horrible. And I was like, you know what? It's like I really think I want to do this. And I looked at my husband. I was like, am I crazy? Like I kind of want to do this. And I felt crazy because it is just so not normal. It's just not something that people do. And so he's like, babe, you love helping people. And if you feel called to this, like God is obviously bringing you here for a reason. So we prayed about it. And I texted Morgan on the 15th that month. I remember specifically. I was like, I get paid on the 30th and I will sign up then. And I signed up on March 30th of 2000, hold on, 18, 17? I don't even know. 18, I think. Yeah, 18. Oh, no, that's not right. I don't know. Whatever 3 years is from right now. I'm so sorry. I literally feel like the years are just gone. I feel like she messaged me in 2017. I joined 2018. That sounds right. But I don't know. So, anyways, I joined. Literally just did everything she said. Basically, I doubled my paycheck every month, like since I joined, and then I tripled it when I went Ruby. At the time, there was $1,000 bonus for Ruby, so I got that, and that was incredible. And then it actually took me a little bit longer to go Emerald, and it's really interesting because you think the people that you promote with the first time are going to be the people you promote with the second time, and that's not exactly it because everyone comes in here for a season. So, anyways, when I really remember this working was because I want to share these like few things because it's really kind of big and because you hear people promoting and you're like, okay, cool. But I want you to hear the real life stories that I went through and why I realized God really brought this business to me before I even get to Granger. And that's my son, if you don't know. But so there was one time that I was literally about ready to get kicked out of grad school because I did not have the money to pay for it. And I got my Ruby paycheck the day they needed the money. And I literally had no idea what I was going to do. And that paycheck got deposited in my account. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so I was literally able to pay for grad school in cash that semester. I was like, wow, okay. And then speaking of grad school, we had an on campus week. There we go. During the summer. So we went for a week and we stayed up there. Well, I did not have gas to get home. And I literally was getting ready to call my husband and I was like, I don't have money. Like, I know you don't have money. Like, what do we do? And literally, as I was getting ready to call him, a fast start bonus got deposited into my account. And I'm not kidding. I just cried. I was like, wow, like this just saved me. That was incredible. And those are obviously like the emergency sort of situations. But there was a time like I could have never paid for someone's lunch, let alone my own going out with friends. I used to decline that like invitation because I didn't want to have them pay for me. The first trip I went on for it works, I paid for all 5 people that I went with. And it was a decent bill and that's fine. But I could do that. And I like literally they were like, Brooke, what are you doing? And I was like, no, guys, like I have never been able to do this in my entire life. And I can do this for you guys. And all of them at some point had like helped me or been an inspiration to me or something. But I was like, wow, I just paid for 5 people's meals plus my own, and I still have some left over. And then my husband lost his job and I was able to pay for over $800 of emergency or not emergency, but like emergency costs, but like his gear that he was going to need because he was going to be working outside in South Dakota winter, which I don't know if you guys have bad winters, but ours is like negative 30s, 40s. Like it's bad. It's cold. And so he needed good gear to be able to stay warm, obviously. So I was able to pay for that. Like all of these things was just like blowing my mind already. And then we got pregnant. And similar to Sarah, I did start when I was teaching. And so I did have a full-time job. I also had my own photography business and I was going to grad school. So I was the definition of busy. Then we got pregnant, and I really had never honestly wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I didn't. When I was in college, I just wanted to teach. That's all I wanted to do. That's all I felt God put me on this earth to do. And then I got pregnant and was like, okay, I'm starting to feel the calling to stay home. And I was really like, so sorry to live in Antarctica, Regina. um, but I felt the calling to stay home and it was strong. And I was like, wow. And I'm able to do that because of this business. And that is like seriously something that is so incredibly on my heart. And if you work, that is 100% fine. I'm never, ever, ever say anything bad to you. One of my good friends works and it's, guys, I admire her more as a mom. I just don't know how you like she does it. And right now we have the ability to do it. And that's what's on my heart. And this is where I feel like God placed me. And this is why I'm here. So that was a really, really long version of my story. I'm sorry I talked so much. But I just wanted to, in case you didn't know me, there's a little bit of my story. So why don't we go ahead and go straight into the different ways you grow your network? Because I know sometimes when people join, like I might tell them something or someone else might tell them something and they're kind of like, well, how do I find people? And the one tip I want to give before you give your tips is just like remembering that you're not just adding to get someone to join. You know, I think people are like, okay, I have to get someone to join or I have to find people exactly like me. And that's not true because I wasn't anything like Morgan, really, honestly. She was just incredibly genuine. She followed up with me, you know, all those things. But when I'm adding people, I'm not thinking, oh, hey, that person's going to join my team. That person needs to lose weight. Like that, like, I don't think those things. I just look and I'm like, oh, wow, like that looks like a really nice person. I feel like I could, you know, kind of interact with them and actually have kind of a friendship. Excuse me. And so I want you to remember that as you're interacting, it's not all about the sale. It's not all about getting a distributor. It's genuinely about like building that relationship. So that's my one tip really quick, but I want to hear how you go to your network and maybe things that have worked and haven't worked and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. So I actually get this question a lot from a lot of other distributors and some of my new distributors. And this is something that's just honestly came natural to me. I don't know if it's my bright red hair or just my crazy postings on Facebook. I don't know what it is. But whenever I'm growing my network, like Brooke said, I wouldn't say I'm going out and like targeting people as far as that matters, is like, oh, I know that they could use the products, or I really know that they could use this extra money. It's nothing along the lines like that. When I'm adding to my network, for one, I'm making sure that I am looking for someone that I know could benefit from this. Like when I go into adding my network every day, I'm like, how can I help this person? Like, who can I help today? I'm looking at it as far as like a friendship wise, instead of just someone that's like, oh, well, they look like they have some money today. Let me add them as a friend. And then maybe they'll see a product post and buy. Because I feel like that's a mindset thing also whenever you're growing your network, because you don't just want to be growing your network continuously over and over again. And when I say this is especially since Facebook does adding like the what is it? It's like they'll pop up like your most mutual friends or suggested friends. That's what
Friends.
Could not think of the word. Thank you, Brooke. But whenever people do suggested friends, that is people that you've either had lots of tags with or lots of location ads from. So when when I say that, I don't add friends from suggested friends, only because there's a good chance I'm going to run into someone that's already in this business or someone that's already trying to do their own small business. But not only that, you're going to have tons of mutual friends with these people. And I'm talking at least 30 plus mutual friends. There's a good chance that that person has already ran across your page and maybe they're not interested, or they already have seen what you're about, which is okay. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I feel like people will get like Brooke, how she would just keep pushing it to the side. And she was like, I'm not that kind of girl. Like, I'm not that kind of person. I feel like you can find a lot of people from there, and that could come to a negative point in your business, and you don't want that to happen. So first and foremost, whenever I go into adding to my network, and this is especially like on power hours and things like that, I go to groups. If you're not in any Facebook groups, that's something I suggest you doing, because this is an awesome and great and easy way to add to your network daily. And I know that.
Suggestion with the groups.
What is it?
Can I make one suggestion with the groups?
Yeah.
Be careful you don't post in there saying, hey, I'm selling, come buy from me, or anything related to your business though, because they will kick you out of that group so fast. And that shouldn't scare you from posting, but a lot of the admins of the groups are just not open to that, and they don't want you to do it for that reason. And so I just want to like make sure that's very clear to not go post in there tonight. Now you could post in there if it's like a mom group or something and be like, oh, hey, you know, how do you potty train your kid? I need tips, blah, 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 and then add all those people. But I just want to make sure you guys know, don't post in there, hey, I'm selling something, come by.
No, for sure. And that's what I was getting into next also is the groups that you're adding to. Like if you're not in any groups and you want to add yourself to groups, we don't necessarily live on a farm right now, but we do have cattle and we do farm. So I'm in several different farming groups. And there's been times in there, like right now we actually have a bull with pink eye. And there was someone that recently posted in there about this. So of course I was going through there and I asked questions, or I'm in several mom groups before. My daughter has really, really natural curly hair. So I had asked for like detangler, recommendations, or where's everybody buying cute clothes right now from small boutiques, if they know any things along those lines. Whenever I do interact within these groups, it's never something outside of what that group's made for. It's always something for what that group's made for. And then I've had tons of friends and the way I look at it too is I've added a lot of friends from these groups, but you can, and yes, try to find groups that you can relate yourself to. Because I'm not telling you, like, if you don't live on a farm or have never been around a farm animal, don't go add yourself to a farm group. But there's exercising groups out there. There's hiking groups out there. There's, food groups out there. There's restaurant groups out there, barbecues, like any kind of anything that you can think of there. I'm sure Facebook has a group for it. So we love hiking during the summertime. So there's a West Virginia hikers group that I'm in that's where I'm from, West Virginia. So I've added myself to groups like that. And I've asked on groups, like, does anybody know of any kid friendly places that we can take my kids? And I'll list like the ages of my kid. Tons of people were willing to help and send pictures and videos and just whatever they needed to do. And I've grown my network I've grown my network so much just by doing little things like that, because people are connecting with you on a personal level, I feel like, and it's easier to come and accept your friend request instead of just some random you who trying to add you on Facebook, because there are so many spam groups out right now. So I add friends from groups, I don't know if you were going to talk about like Instagram, if you guys use Instagram or not, but I love following people from locations or like restaurants, because we already have something in common. And not only that, I'm always posting like, you better bet I'm going out to some bougie restaurant. I'm going to be posting about it on my Instagram story, or someone's going to be wanting to know where I'm at. And I do the same for others also. Just today, actually, this girl was posting on there. She was eating at a barge restaurant, and I didn't know there was one in West Virginia, but there is, where you can eat dinner on a barge. And I totally followed her, and I slid right into her DMs, and we started a conversation. She viewed my stories, actually voted on one of my polls. Instant potential customer right there, guys. So I feel like if you break the ice with someone first, they're going to be more willing to accept your friend request in the long run. And they're not just going to be like, she's just trying to add me to sell me something. You know what I mean? So that's, and we'll get into this a little bit later, but just be real with everything you do, you know what I mean, wholeheartedly, and just don't try to come off someone that you're not, because you don't want to seem fake or anything like that. You just want to be true to yourself, because there are tons of people out there that are going to be wanting to come to you, that's going to be interested in you and your story and what you're posting about. So I think that's all I had, but if I think of something, I'll let you know.
No, I like that. And I like that you mentioned the restaurants, because I've been doing the towns recently because I really want to grow a local team. But I hadn't even thought about doing restaurants. So that's really good. No, the suggestions that I was going to do that work really well for me on Facebook, suggested friends has never really worked for me. So I don't do that. But I do the news feed ads that come up. I'll do those, and especially if it's like a Christian one or a cat mom one or a C-section one or anything like that, especially bachelor related, I will definitely add from there. And a tip I want to give you from that is, if you add from something, I mean, West Virginia, like that's a little harder than what I'm about to say, but like if I add from a bachelor page, you better bet within that week I'm going to be posting something about The Bachelor, because otherwise they're going to be like, why the heck did she add me? I mean, maybe by chance they'll be a mom, but I have no idea. You know what I mean? So you have to post about what you're adding. And then on Facebook, the other thing that I'll do is also groups, and I'll go interact in those and find a post I really relate to, or maybe it's one of my posts. I know when I was really, really pregnant, I think I was like 35 or 36 weeks, I posted, did you guys go with a one piece bikini, or did you go with, or I don't know, one piece swimsuit, whatever, or a bikini? What did you guys do and how did you feel? And I think there was like 300 comments on that post. And I was like, holy crap. And so I went through there and everyone was so encouraging. And I was like, wow, like I really appreciate this. I want to be friends with people like this that are so encouraging. And so whether I made whatever choice I made, it doesn't matter. But the fact is I got encouraging friends out of the deal, and I went and added those people, and it was really, really cool. And so that was something I did. And then on Instagram, what I like to do is I'll find a Bachelor page, or I'll find someone famous that I really, really like. So like I'm super into Sadie Robertson right now. I'll find her or some other person like that, and I'll go to like their first or second post, and I'll follow the people that like it. So I know it's fairly recent. So I know those people are still active on Instagram. And then, like I said, I am doing those local, trying to find people like around me. I think that's, the main places that I add from. But like I said, I just like getting some different ideas on how people add to their network and see what works best. But I like the group aspect of connecting a little bit more even before you add them. That's really, really cool. So going into that, I guess let's go straight into it. What are your best tips for signing distributors? Where do you find yours? Is it story? Is it post on Facebook? Is it sharing your story? What do you do to sign distributors?
One thing before I get into that, another thing I have added from Facebook ads before, make sure you're adding people that's liked and commented, because there are spam accounts out there that I've ran into on my profile, and it's just from adding people from likes on ads, because there are spam accounts. So just be careful and aware of that. But anybody that comments, I add to them because they're more likely to be a real person. Okay. So as far as signing distributors and going as far as that goes, I love just being really my true self on my Facebook, especially whenever I'm posting about the business. Like, I don't care to sit there and tell you that we've had to have help from the state before. You know what I mean? Like, I've got it to the Walmart line and I've not been able to pay for my groceries. Like, I've literally been sitting there going back out to my car to try to get coins to pay for the rest of my groceries. So this is something I'm actually getting into, though, and I'm working with. So I'm not saying that you have to right away and go that. And especially if you're new here, I don't expect you to have any kind of testimony as far as that goes. But that's something that's just really, really, truly helped me. And it's just helped me actually grow as a person, as myself, just being real and true with myself. Like, you had joined this business for a reason. We don't want to go back there. So it's kind of just like a reminder for me to, like, the hard work and consistency is going to pay off. But I've actually, gained a lot of distributors from posting on my stories. But when I post on my stories, I will actually like throw up a cute selfie. And especially on Instagram now, because you can make stories in itself and then just share them over your Facebook wall, which is something I do. And I'll throw up like a cute selfie of myself, and I'll just like ask, you know what I mean? Like, hey sis, if you are looking for, a extra stream of income. I had to think of where I was going there. If you're looking for an extra stream of income, you know what I mean? Flexible hours, you just have to be willing to work hard. You got to be coachable, you know what I mean? Willing to want to make a change for yourself. Those have seemed to really blow up for me right now. And I've gotten tons of potentials, and that's just not, don't get me wrong. I do go through and do some of like the pre-made up opportunity stories, but I feel like when I'm throwing myself out there and my family and just showing like what this business has done for us, as far as like, going to Walmart before, I've took like a little boomerang at Walmart, and I've had Avery in the buggy with me, and I'll take a little boomerang and I'll be like, thanks so much. You know what I mean? Like, It Works has helped me pay for this. So that is buggy. Yes, it's a buggy, Brooke. It's a buggy. So oh gosh, she is something else with this. I'm telling y'all, she's something silly. But anyways, So just being able to show like others that what this business has done for me that I wouldn't been able to do before. Like, and that's in all honesty. Like I said, we used to get, I don't know if you guys have like WIC or some kind of like state help wherever you are. Like we were on WIC the first like 2 years that my son was, here with us because we couldn't afford the groceries. So, and since joining this business, I've not had to have that extra help like that. So whenever we go to Walmart and just do things like that, because it is a really small town. So there was like a lot of people that knew that I needed that assistance. You know what I mean? Either they worked at Walmart or they worked at the DHHR. So just being able to show that like we're at Walmart, you know what I mean? We were able to pay for all these groceries thanks to it works in some sort of way. So just being like true and honest to yourself, I seem to gain a lot of people who are interested. And this goes back to like growing my network too. Just make sure whenever you're posting about the business or whether it's done something for you or it hasn't done something for you and you are going to have it, like say you just joined the business, whenever you're posting about it, you know what I mean? Talk about your dreams, talk about where you're going, talk about how this is going to help you get off government assistance, or this is going to help you buy a new car. You know what I mean? There's so many things out there. So just be so true to yourself. You know what I mean? And whenever I'm speaking to others about the business, like when I'm talking to those potentials and they'll ask me, I just like having that genuine conversation with someone and just letting them know, you're not in this alone. You're not in this alone. There's tons of helps, tons of tips and tricks. There's many weekly Zooms that we have that we share with each other. You know what I mean? So just being that real person and just, shining the light for them and showing them that this is possible. You know what I mean? This is so possible, guys. There was many times I never once thought about quitting the business, but there was many times that I was just so stressed out because of course I was homeschooling my brother at the time. You know what I mean? We had some other family issues going on, but I still had a full-time job. I had 2 kids. You know what I mean? They're 4 and 3 now. So just being genuine and true to yourself. Don't forget to pray and thank the good Lord above for everything he's given us, because I promise you, your work will be blessed, guys. So I guess just being like, as far as signing distributors, I kind of got off subject there for a hot minute, but it happens. So, but just sharing my story and then sharing personal pictures on Instagram and just making like my own little slides that way with a poll at the end, huge game changer for me, because I used to be the kind of girl that would just copy and paste a, business script, which is completely fine. I'm not saying there's nothing against that, but just being real to myself and just honestly breaking through those walls. I've had tons more of new potentials from people seeing just what this business can do for you. So I guess just like keep it personal. You know what I mean? Just get it out there, guys, because people are nosy. People are going to want to know what you're doing, what you're into, what this business has really done. Like at this point in time, they don't care about, you know what I mean, an income disclosure or anything like that. You still want to make sure you're posting those, but they want to know what it's really done for you. So don't be afraid to share that. I know just here recently, like last week or so, on the 15th, whenever we got paid, I was actually able to order myself a hydro jug just because I want to get healthier. You know what I mean? And that's something I've been wanting to order for myself, but spending $30 on a water bottle is not something I had planned on doing. So just little things like that. I make sure, you shout out, as far as like filling your car up, putting $20 in your car from a sample, you know what I mean? Just shout those things out, because people are going to want to see what truly is happening. You know what I mean? Like they want to know what's behind those scenes that you're posting about every single day. So just be sure to share those and be excited about it. You know what I mean? So I think that's all I've got for right now.
Sorry, I promise I wasn't trying to laugh about the buggy thing, but it cracks me up every time. It's like Morgan and Hanger. She says Hanger. I love her. If she watches this, I love you. But I say Hanger and it cracks me up every time. So I'm sorry if I was laughing. I was trying to be serious and I was like, I was like trying so hard. But no, now I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah. Right at the end you were talking about posting the income disclosure statement, but no one really in a sense cares about that. But there's some people. I mean, if you've done this, it's totally okay. Like we all start somewhere. And if you go search my first Instagram post, or not even just Instagram, but post about the business, yikes, please don't go do that. But people don't care about joining your team. And like, I didn't even know what a team was before I joined. And so I just want to remind you of that, like, yeah, okay, I've got 5 spots left to join my team. Okay. But what has it done for you, or what is it going to do? What is it going to do for you? And so like with that, it actually was funny when you're talking about the goals. And I know even in the Ruby and Emerald chat, they did that today, but I think it was yesterday. I'm doing this diamond run because I'm also going for diamond. And so I was doing a diamond run chat with my girls, and I have this like tasks every day that are different from Morgan's. And so my task for them, yeah, I know you're almost done. My task for them was to, do you want more chips? What do you want, your bud? Was to come up with their goals, come up with a list of goals. And so what I had them do was come up with 3 short-term goals and 3 long-term goals. But I also had them get specific and get like months and possibly even days, but if not months and years that they wanted this done by. And I was like, guess what? I haven't got this part yet, but I'll get there anyways. But 6 business posts I just gave you of saying that it's going to pay for XYZ. Sorry, we're getting done with supper. And so that was really cool. I thought you brought that up. The other thing that I wanted to mention. Sorry, we're having a mom life moment here. Anyways, the other thing that I wanted to mention is that where I get most of mine from, I would say, sorry, I have something on my laptop, is either sharing my story on my story. And when I'm saying I'm sharing my story on my story, I'm talking most of the time different than Sarah, which is fine because I like what she does. But I try to talk when I share my story. And I would say I do that like 4 out of the 7 days. I try my best to do that because they want to hear your excitement. Now, if I go like, hey, Sarah, you should go watch this movie. It's really good. She's going to be like, okay. If she's not gonna go watch that movie, I wouldn't go watch that movie. But if I'm like, hey Sarah, oh my gosh, this movie, you have got to go see it. She's gonna be like, okay, like what's it about? And I've already got her interest because I'm already excited about it. And I know it's scary when you're like first starting and you're like, oh, I don't know, like I haven't made money, or maybe you have and you're still like, I don't know, and maybe you're still worried about what people think. Who cares? Who genuinely cares what they think? If they're really that bothered, they can remove you from their profile or you can remove them. It does not matter. But that was one thing I wanted to mention. But anyways, when I'm on my story, I like to use the fears that I hear from people. And I don't mean to like use it against them. I just know what's possible with this business, what I've seen for myself, what I've seen for Sarah, what I've seen for Virginia, for all these people. I've seen things happen and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is so life-changing. How can I not offer this? And so when I talk about it, let's say someone just recently told me that they they don't have enough followers. So when I hop on my story, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm so thankful. I'm sitting here with my son. He's sleeping, not right now, but for instance. And I'm just so thankful that I get to sit here and work money, make money from my phone and work while I'm sitting here with him. And I know that there's so many people out there. And I actually just recently talked to a girl that was so scared that she didn't have enough followers to start this. Well, guess what? I only had a couple hundred followers on Instagram when I first started, and now I've got 5,000. I think something like that. Now I've got 5,000 on Instagram. I can teach you how to grow your network and how to meet new people. Like I can give you all the tools. All you have to do is start and say yes. But that's on you to say yes and start. So if you're curious, let me know or swipe up or whatever. So I use that and I literally pretend like I'm talking to them. And someone else might be watching that I have no idea about. Like I think, oh yeah, Grace is still on here. I had no idea Grace existed until she messaged me. No idea. And she'd been watching for a long time. Okay. And I just had another girl who's going to sign up when she gets paid. She watched me since I got pregnant with Granger. No idea she existed till this month. No idea. Has never liked, has never commented, has never anything. Maybe watched my story.
Now, was that Instagram or Facebook? Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, you're good. Grace was on Facebook, and then I feel so bad, but I can't remember the other girl's name right now. I think it actually might be Grace, which is really funny. But it's on Instagram, is her. And
yeah,
so
I just because I feel like different crowds watch from different places.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure you're growing your network all around and making sure that you're showing your face daily. I just wanted to jump on that real fast because I heard you say that. I actually talk on my stories a lot often, but I feel like people are more there. They get easier into me by poll. So I talk about it a lot, but polls are a huge game changer because then they're feeling like, I'm not stepping off the ledge into a private message. I'm just going to click this and then she'll get back to me.
See, what's really interesting is that I tried polls consistently probably for a couple months and I just did not get the results I wanted from it. So I stopped. And so I have enough people swipe up and message me, that I don't have to worry about that. But also with sharing your face in your story, I knew you did that, so I didn't mean to come off like that. But the thing I was saying with that is that if you're having a bad day, it's hard to get on and be like, yeah, I'm so excited about my business because I've had a really bad day. If you get on like that, you're not gonna sell anybody. They're gonna think that you hate this. Okay, so like if I am having a bad day, I might not have shown my face at all. Okay, or maybe it's very, very little. And like actually, I think today is a really bad day example. Don't look at my stories right now because I don't think I've actually shown my face much at all. And I've actually had a pretty like okay day. It's just been a really busy day, so I'll probably hop on and say that and talk about the chaos of this business. But you can
Oh
still
yeah.
yeah, you can still share your story and you can still be you on your Instagram, on your Facebook. I have mine linked. So when I post to Instagram, post to Facebook. But I showed a video of him putting his shoes on his feet for the first time. I was like, I about cried, like genuinely about cried because I was so proud. I have videos of my cat. I don't think I did a outside video yet of my balcony thing, but I did all these things and I didn't even show my face yet. And let's just pretend I did have a bad day. That's what I would do on a bad day. And then the other thing that I would do is share those Instagram stories like Sarah's talking about. And I would still share what it's done for me, but I wouldn't have to show my face. Now, I'm not suggesting don't show your face. I'm not saying that. You still want to show your face because the problem with not showing your face is that people don't know you. And I always tell my girls this, you didn't join me because I sell It Works. And maybe Grace did, but that's a story for a different time. But she just wanted to be a distributor for a long time. But like I did not join Morgan because I wanted to join It Works. I joined Morgan because I needed $100 in gas money, and that's what she was paying for on her stories. I joined her because she was incredibly, incredibly genuine. I could have joined with someone from my hometown that I went to high school with, and I just did not feel that connection to them. I didn't feel like they would be the right person for me to join with. I didn't feel they were genuine. Like I just didn't feel that. So I joined with Morgan, and obviously that's where God wanted me. So that was one thing I was going to say. And then the other thing that I was going to say is on Facebook, when you can do the colored backgrounds, I'll do like anyone looking for a part-time job or even full-time or whatever, daily, weekly, monthly income, all these different ways to word basically, do you want to work from your phone? And I do those once a week and I get a ton of potentials from that. Excuse me. So I'm not saying you have to do it, but that's why I wanted different opinions here and like different things that people do because different things work. Like, polls work for you. They don't work for me. Maybe you don't need to do the color backgrounds and I do. There's so many different things of that work. And that's why I like all these different ideas. And I think like the biggest thing is like you join for yourself, but then you realize along the way that you're joining to be able to help other people. And like I'm a yellow green, and I don't know actually what everyone else is on here. It'd be really cool if everyone could drop their colors, like their primary two, in the order that they're. So like I'm a yellow green, I'm yellow first, and then I'm green. Because I'm just curious because I know some of what my team, but I don't know about yours. And so I also use that to my advantage when I'm talking about distributors. So if I'm a yellow green, if you don't know much about the color personalities, yellows are very loyal. They're very friendly. They're very like compassionate is a really short term of how to explain yellows. And then greens are very organized. They're very analytical. They need a plan. Like they don't just go by the swing of things. Like that's not me. And so when my days don't go the way I want, AKA when my son wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning with me, today I get no mama time. But anyways, so when those kind of days happen, I get a little overwhelmed because I need that plan. I need my schedule. So anyways, when I'm talking to people, yellows mainly, if that's your primary color, you love to help people. And so when I'm talking on my stories, I remember something Sarah said earlier. She's like, you are not alone in this. I always make sure, especially if I'm talking to someone that's scared, I'm like, I promise you, I'm going to be here every step of the way. Like I have helped so many people succeed. I am succeeding. Like I have a girl that I'm going to get on a call with. I don't know if it's tonight or not because of all the Zooms, but I'm going to get on a call with her. She said no to me 3 months ago. She straight up was like, no, like, please don't ask me again. No. And I was like, okay. And so I respected her. And guess what? She messaged me. She's like, you are so excited. You are so passionate. Like, can we talk about what you do? I was like, yes, we can. Like, I was pumped because she's seeing what I'm doing and she's seeing how excited I am. And that's what I wanted to convey too. And I feel like there was a different direction I was going to go with that, but I can't remember. So basically what I'm saying is that my potentials most of the time come from my stories and then those color background opportunity posts. And then every single time someone hosts a post for me, I don't actually ask them if they want to become a distributor. I actually ask them just if they want any information on the products. And I go into that conversation and then it turns into a potential distributor conversation if they can't afford it. Now that's just what works for me and what I've been doing. So I don't know if you do anything different or if you want to touch on that. But that was one thing that I definitely wanted to hit on. And then I have one last thing, unless you want to touch on that right now. Are you good?
No, I'll touch on it just real quick.
Okay.
I also start with products. Once they host a posted for me, I start with products and then we go from there. But if someone posted for me, just last week, I had a chick host a post for me literally before I could even get closed out of our messages and go to her profile and save it. It already had 10 comments on that baby. So you better believe when I went back to her, I didn't offer her them products. I offered her the business because I'm like, you just threw up a post on your wall within, I'm not joking, guys, 4 minutes. Cause of course I was just finishing out the conversation, 10 comments. And I'm like, holy smokes. I think that host to post got up to like 25 comments. I mean, something ridiculous. She turned into a potential LC. She wasn't interested in the business. She was one of those, just immediately turned me away. She was like, look, I was just wanting to help you out. And that's completely fine. But I just wanted to let that hang in the back of her mind, knowing that she is obviously, she has a good profile. You know what I mean? This is something she posted about it. She has tons of potential. So, but yeah, definitely start out with the products and then go from there. Unless, like I said, host to post blow up, I immediately go for the business.
No, I love it. And I'm glad you expanded on that. The only other thing that I was going to say regarding distributors, I think the only thing is I like to talk, but is going live. And I know some people get like, when I say that, they're like, oh, about that. Like, I'm not doing that. So I have a couple recommendations with it. One, I know Ashley was one of my people that was like, I'm not going live. Like, not happening. I remember that conversation so well. And I was like, okay, go live about something that you really enjoy and that you could talk about. She's got Harry Potter makeup kits. She's got like literally so much stuff that I don't even know anything about, but she could go live and she could talk about it for I don't even know how long. Now I could go live and I could talk about my decor. I could talk about Hobby Lobby. I could talk about Target. I could talk about so many different things. And so something that I didn't mean to brand myself this way, which is funny because even when like guest speakers come on to Morgan's Zoom, they're like, oh yeah, Brooke, I think I saw one of your hair videos. And I'm like, oh, like people know me because of that. So I get on live and I cannot explain to you guys. I'm not trying to manifest this, but I suck at doing my hair. I literally can just braid my hair. I fake French braid it. Like I can't do anything else. It's a ponytail, straightened, or in my fake French braids. That's it. So I go live and I try to do my hair and people literally are laughing, well, with me, but at me while I'm doing it. And I'm totally secure in myself and able to do that. But it's something that I like, okay, that didn't work. Like, what do I do here, guys? Like, you got to help me out because I need to figure something out here. Okay. So I'm not saying you have to go make fun of yourself. I'm not doing that. But what I'm saying is like, I can go live about what I'm studying in my devotionals. I can go live about the book I just read. I can go live about all these different things to get myself comfortable with actually going live. And so I have two last things, I promise. But one thing with that is like we went to a zero gravity amusement park, which is a big amusement park full of like thrills basically. And we went bungee jumping. And some people, they're like, oh, nope, like I'm good. And so for me, I was like, okay, like I'm 100% up for this. Like if we wouldn't have gotten pregnant, we would have like jumped out of a plane. Like we want to go skydiving. Like that's the type of people we are. And we went on one and from the ground, it really doesn't look that bad. It's like, okay, I can do that. And we get up there and the girl in front of me is taking freaking forever. And I'm like, what are you doing? I got places I want to be. And then I got up there and I was like, oh. And I took a breath and I went. I'm not even kidding. It was not probably more than like 2 or 2.5 seconds. I went because if I didn't, I would have not gone. And so when I got down there, they were like, I think you jumped like you were the fastest person to ever jump that we've ever seen. Because their motto is jump or be pushed because some people have to be pushed to get down there. And I was like, I wouldn't have gone. And that's the same thing with going live. I think people get ready and they have it ready and they're like, okay, I just got to push the button. And then they back out. Just push the button and it forces you to go live. And so then the next part that I was going to say is when you do go live and you finally get comfortable, you can have notes. That's totally fine. But I just get live and I'm like, maybe it's something I'm really thankful for. Maybe it's filling up my gas tank. And I just recently did, I'm like, wow, like, you know, I just wanted to hop on here real quick because I am just so incredibly thankful. And I don't know how many of you watch me or if you're maybe a new follower or anything like this, blah, 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 blah. And I start going into my story, kind of like I did earlier in the Zoom. And I share that. And then I'm at the end, I'm like, hey, like I'm here for you. If you guys want any information or want to talk about it, literally information never hurts anybody. So go ahead and leave a comment below or text me. or go ahead and shoot me a message. And I do that too. So lives are another way that I do get distributors. Oh, yeah, I really want out of that right now. Lives are another way that I get distributors. So I don't know if you want to touch on that real quick.
Yeah, so I'll just touch on this really quick. But I go live, but I was always the kid in the classroom whenever they were like, oh, who wants to volunteer for this? I was always over here with my hand in there, like, please pick me, please pick me. So going live has not been something that's a problem with me. Now, when I first joined the business, I had never went live before. And I was always the kind of person where I was like, pick me, pick me. And then it came to that first live. Guys, please do not, like Brooke said earlier, go back and watch that because it was absolutely hideous. I had no clue what I was talking about, but you better bet I got on there and was talking about that skinny coffee and how excited I was about it and all the things. But something, now that I am comfortable with going live, like Brooke said, I totally get, like, maybe not starting off with something as far as like it works related. Get on there and talk about like something that you and your kids are doing, you know what I mean? Or hair or makeup, if you're really good at makeup, or just whatever it can be. Go live, you know what I mean? Break that ice, go live, go all in. Don't get up there at the top and think about it. Just jump, just do it, because I promise you it gets easier. Practice makes perfect. Because I'm going to say that with the parentheses, my lives are never perfect. I've got a kid screaming in the background, and that's completely okay, because that just shows that you're making this work. You know what I mean? You're a real person, you're a mom, whatever you have going on. Another thing that I've actually had some new distributors doing just to kind of get them comfortable with, because they were totally like non-existent when you talked about showing their face. Like they were even nervous to do that, to just throw up a random selfie. So something that they've been doing, and this has been working really well for them, is actually recording yourself in a video. Just recording yourself with a short video talking about, say, the slimming gummies, if you want to talk about the products. I know she had got on one, she had trains dogs. So she got on there and was just talking about like training her dogs and things, and just done like a short video and then uploaded it. So it was almost like a live, because it's shown her face in a video talking on her profile. It just wasn't like live within that minute. But guess what, guys? She went live this week. She did that last week and went live this week. So it kind of, because she had so many, you know what I mean? She had comments, she had people liking and, interested in what she was doing just from uploading that short video. And it can be 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It doesn't have to be a 10-minute speech, guys. So, definitely reaching out live, because you want to make sure all your profiles are public. So whenever people are coming back to me, they're hearing my voice, they're seeing me as a real person, you know what I mean? They're listening to me, knowing what I'm in this. So mainly when I go live now, I'm either doing my coffee and talking about the business and just what it's done for me and what it's going to do for me that day. Or, I'm talking about the products, or if there's a sale going on, just because I'm comfortable with doing that now. But definitely going live, like Brooke said, it's really helped.
That's awesome. Well, I know we have another Zoom to get to here really soon. So I guess, do you want to leave us with anything? Maybe it's with growing your network, or whether it's just advice in general. I know a lot of my girls are fairly newer. I don't know about yours. But I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to leave them with here?
Yeah, I actually had a note here. Do it and dream it, guys. Stay consistent. And I was reading on my notes here. Sorry, I was taking notes as you was talking too. So just stay consistent. You know what I mean? Take quitting off the table. You guys joined for a reason, so take quitting off the table. This is a life-changing experience, and you got to look at it as not just your side hustle anymore, guys. This is your job. You know what I mean? You're writing your paychecks. So and I know some of you are mainly very new, but there are so many different ways to, you know what I mean, make money if that's what you are here for, or maybe you need money to pay for your products. Just stay true to yourself. Take quitting off the table. You joined this business for a reason. So don't be afraid to just go after it. Just go after it, because we all have to start somewhere. We're starting from the bottom, guys. So we're moving it up.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And the consistency is my best tip of advice too. And like, stay consistent even when you don't see the results, because you're gonna see the results. Because I could have easily given up, and then I wouldn't have signed 9 distributors and 15 LCs in a couple of months in a row. I wouldn't have done that. Ashley and Melissa and Grace, they all would not be here if I would have given up. They would not be able to pay for their wedding or to be able to stay home or pay for their security water bill. Grace, I don't remember what you said the other day. She paid for something because of the business. And it's just like they wouldn't have been able to do that if I would have quit, you know? So yeah. So you just think about all those lives that you can change along the way, especially if that's obviously your personality color. I'm so sorry, he's getting really excited now. And so I guess because I didn't expand on it, that's where I knew I was gonna go somewhere else. Was the personality colors real quick before we end. I obviously like as a yellow security system bill. I knew something like that. If you're a yellow, obviously you love to help people. Convey that you want to help them, convey that you want to be there for them. If you're a green, give them as many details as you can without overwhelming them, because like there's different types of greens, but they do want to know a lot of the details. If you're a blue, literally blow your story up with power hours and zooms. Holy crap, blow them up every single time you're on. Every single time. I'm not a blue, but I post about them because I really love them, and every single time. And then if you're a red, use your bluntness to your advantage. I am not a red, or if I am, I'm very unhealthy. I'm like maybe 1%. And so I'm not very blunt most of the time. I'm more like, okay, so I think you need to hear this, but I say it in a really nice way. I'm just not really that blunt until it comes to the C-section, and that's a whole different story. But my point is, use your color personality to your advantage, because that's you. And so when you're saying stay true to you, stay true to your color personality. I am 100% yellow green, or if you want to go 50-50 or whatever, but I am 100% those colors. Like blue, I love to have fun. Okay, yeah. Red, okay, the money's great. I can be blunt. Okay, that's great. But my colors are yellow and green, and that is where my heart is. And people feel that from my story. So that was the last thing I was going to leave you guys with. So I am going to go ahead and stop the recording here. I just want to thank you so much, though, for doing this, for coming on, for just being here and pouring into my team, because I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. I think, oh, it didn't stop. Sorry.